Jesus stands in chains, but it's not over. Dallas Jenkins just revealed the official release plan for The Chosen Season 6, and it changes everything. From the long-awaited release date to the jaw-dropping moments we glimpsed in the live stream, including Jesus like you've never seen him before. Pilate, the arrest, the betrayal. It's all coming, and it's coming sooner than we expected. But there's more. This isn't just another season. What Dallas said about Jesus' role, the structure of the episodes, and the movie finale will shake fans to the core. If you thought Season 5 was intense, just wait, because Season 6 is not just a continuation, it's the beginning of the end. And the way it ends is unlike anything this show has ever done. Let's break down everything Dallas just revealed, starting with the exact timeline for Season 6. Dallas Jenkins has finally confirmed it. The Chosen Season 6 is officially scheduled to arrive in late 2026. Not early, not mid, late. But that's not even the most surprising part. After months of silence, delays, and fan speculation, Dallas returned in a new live stream and laid it all out. No more vague answers, no more theories. He said they're now following a strict policy. No more talking about future release dates unless they're sure. And this time, they're sure. Production is well underway and post-production will be stretched out, but they're aiming for a full 6-episode release by the end of 2026. That's the plan. No more teasing 2027 like he did last year. But even though the timeline is clearer now, it's not simple. Dallas also confirmed that the final episode of Season 6, what he's calling the feature-length finale, will not be included in the 2026 batch. That's right. The final chapter of Season 6 is being turned into a movie, and that movie won't arrive until 2027. Possibly Easter, possibly later. He's refusing to give a firm date for the movie. And honestly, after what happened, with Season 5's shifting release dates, you can't blame him. But the key takeaway is the 6 full episodes in late 2026, one epic movie in 2027. The story of Jesus' final days told like never before. But here's where it gets intense. Dallas didn't just talk about release dates. He also gave us a glimpse into the tone and structure of this new season. And let me tell you, it's not going to be gentle. This is where things get serious. He called it the most emotionally heavy and theologically complex season yet. And judging by the footage they showed, Jesus with his hands bound walking with guards speaking face to face with Pilate, it's clear that we are about to witness the full weight of what's coming. We've seen hints of it before. The betrayals, the rising tension in Jerusalem, but now it's all happening. The arrest, the trial, the crucifixion, but not in the way you've seen it in other shows or movies. Dallas made it clear The Chosen isn't following a traditional path. It's not just checking boxes of biblical events, it's reimagining, reframing, and revealing these moments through the eyes of the people who lived them. Through trauma, through confusion, through heartbreak. This is not going to be a neat timeline. It's going to be raw, real, and deeply human. And that leads us into the most jaw-dropping part of all, what Dallas called Jesus' epic movements. Because this season doesn't just focus on what's happening to Jesus. It shows what he is choosing to do even in the face of betrayal and death. Dallas revealed that Jesus' choices, his silence, his strength, every moment will be deliberate, powerful, and deeply unsettling. You won't see a helpless victim. You'll see a king in control, a savior making choices that defy logic. There's one moment Dallas mentioned, just briefly, where Jesus looks directly at Pilate. And even though he's chained and bloodied, Pilate is the one who looks afraid. That's what we're in for. A battle not of swords, but of truth. A quiet war, a divine plan unfolding in silence, pain, and unshakable authority. And yes, Dallas acknowledged the wait will be hard. We're still more than a year away. But unlike before this time, there's a plan, a schedule, a strategy. And no matter how painful the wait is, we now know where we're going. The end of Season 6 will not be the end of The Chosen, but it will be the end of Jesus' earthly ministry. And that changes everything. It begins with a kiss and ends in chaos. Section 2 of Season 6 will dive straight into the most heart-wrenching and chilling part of the story, the arrest of Jesus in the Garden of Gethsemane. But Dallas Jenkins made it clear, this won't be the version we're used to. This isn't just about Judas's betrayal. It's about every disciple's breaking point. According to Dallas, Season 6 will strip away the comfort and hope that the earlier seasons offered. This time, fear takes over. And even though we already know how the story ends, we won't be prepared for how it unfolds. Jesus isn't just arrested, he's abandoned. And what The Chosen plans to do with that moment will leave fans shattered. Dallas confirmed that Episode 2 will focus on the Gethsemane scene, and yes, Judas is at the center. But there's more, because this isn't just about what Judas does, it's about why. Dallas hinted that Judas's inner conflict, his isolation, and his inability to understand Jesus' silence will finally explode. The betrayal won't feel like a villain's act. It will feel like a tragedy, a desperate, misguided attempt to force a kingdom into motion. But while Judas is breaking, Jesus is rising. Because here's the twist, even in his arrest, Jesus is leading. Dallas said Jesus will walk into his suffering. He won't be dragged. And that changes everything. When the guards come, Jesus doesn't run. He doesn't resist. He steps forward. The moment is terrifying, but it's also powerful, because while everyone else is falling apart, Jesus stands tall, and that's when the real unraveling begins. Dallas revealed that this is where Peter's journey reaches a brutal turning point. Remember his vow from earlier seasons? I'll never leave you? That promise shatters here. Dallas explained that Peter's collapse in Season 6 is deeply personal. Not just because he denies Jesus, but because he believes he was strong enough not to. That guilt, that failure, will haunt Peter for the rest of the season. It's going to break viewers, because Peter isn't just a disciple anymore. He's a man completely lost, ashamed, and furious at himself. And this isn't dramatized for shock value. Dallas said they're sticking close to the gospel texts, but they're diving deeper emotionally. They're showing the trauma, the panic, and the loneliness that surrounded that night. The disciples scatter, Mary is left in despair, and the one they followed, the one they believed was untouchable, is now being dragged away like a criminal. But what's even more haunting is how Jesus reacts. Dallas teased a powerful moment in Episode 3. Jesus, beaten, bloodied, silent, makes eye contact with Peter. No words, just a look, and that look, Dallas says, will change everything, because it's not disappointment, it's not anger, it's love. Even in the middle of betrayal, Jesus still sees Peter, still forgives him, still chooses him, and that quiet, devastating moment will echo through the rest of the season. Peter won't be able to escape it. And neither will we. This is where the show's tone fully shifts. From miracles and teachings to trials and darkness, Jerusalem becomes a city of shadows. The Sanhedrin is no longer just a council. It's a machine ready to crush anyone who challenges its authority. Caiaphas is more dangerous than ever. And Jesus, he remains silent through it all. Dallas explained that silence will become Jesus' greatest weapon in this season. When others lie, he stays quiet. When others shout, he simply stands. And in that silence is unimaginable strength. Dallas also revealed that Roman politics will take center stage soon. Pilate is coming. And when he enters the story, things don't. Slow down, they escalate. But that's for the next section. Right now, the spotlight remains on this. Jesus arrested, betrayed, abandoned, and yet still in control. Still carrying the weight of a plan no one else understands. Everything changes the moment Jesus is handed over to the Romans. The betrayal was just the beginning. The real storm begins in the courtroom. In Section 3, Dallas Jenkins brings us face to face with one of the most harrowing chapters in the Gospels, Jesus' trial before Pontius Pilate. And according to Dallas, this part of the season will leave viewers speechless, because Jesus doesn't defend himself. He doesn't beg. He doesn't even explain. While everyone around him loses control, Jesus stands like a lion surrounded by jackals. And he says almost nothing. But that silence, that stillness, it speaks louder than any miracle he's ever performed. Dallas revealed that Pilate won't be portrayed as a simple villain. Instead, we'll see a man torn between politics, power, and something far more terrifying: truth. From what Dallas shared, Pilate will feel that something is wrong, that Jesus isn't just another rebel or troublemaker. And yet, even as his conscience wrestles with the moment, his fear of Rome, the fear of losing his position, his wife, his safety, will push him to make the worst decision of his life. But it's not just Pilate who crumbles, it's the entire system, because the trial is a spectacle, a performance. And Jesus is the only one who refuses to play the part. Dallas emphasized that Season 6 will show how Jesus' quiet strength begins to unsettle everyone in power. Pilate's wife will have dreams, visions she can't explain. The religious leaders will feel their grip slipping, even as they shout louder. The crowds will grow restless, angry, manipulated. And through it all, Jesus won't say much. Because as Dallas said, the world expects a warrior, a rebel king. But Jesus came as something far more dangerous, truth in human form. And truth, when exposed to corruption, causes everything to fall apart. But what makes this part of the story so haunting isn't just the injustice. It's how expected it is. Dallas pointed out something chilling. No one tries to stop it. The disciples are in hiding. Peter is broken. Judas is gone. The people who once shouted Hosanna now cry, "Crucify him." It's the same city, the same temple, the same streets. But everything feels darker now, more twisted. And Jesus, he walks through it all without lifting a hand to stop it. One of the most powerful moments Dallas hinted at is when Jesus is presented before the people bruised and bloodied, and Pilate offers them a choice, Jesus or Barabbas. This scene will not just be about historical events, it will be personal. Dallas wants viewers to feel what it means to choose violence over peace, lies over truth, fear over faith. And in that moment, the crowd chooses Barabbas. It's not just a choice made 2,000 years ago, it's a reflection of humanity's constant failure to recognize the truth when it stands in front of us. But even as Jesus is condemned, even as Pilate washes his hands and tries to erase his guilt, there's something else happening. Something invisible. Something epic. Dallas said that behind the scenes of all this horror, heaven is watching. Angels are silent. The universe is holding its breath, because what looks like defeat is actually victory. Every blow, every accusation, every shout is part of the plan. And while everyone else is trying to understand what's happening, Jesus knows exactly where this road leads. That's what makes it epic. Not swords, not miracles, but purpose, power, peace. As Dallas said, Jesus didn't lose control. He gave it up. He handed himself over so that nothing could be left undone. Every step, every silence, every drop of blood. Intentional. This section of Season 6 will not be easy to watch. It's meant to break us, to challenge us, to make us uncomfortable. Because if we truly want to understand the resurrection, we have to sit in the weight of the injustice first. We have to feel what it meant to see the Son of God judged by sinful men. This is the part of Season 6 where the weight of everything crashes down. Jesus is no longer just on trial, he is condemned, sentenced, beaten, and the journey to Golgotha begins. But Dallas Jenkins made one thing clear in the live stream. This will not be a typical retelling of the crucifixion. It will be brutal, it will be haunting, and it will shake your soul. But it will also be filled with beauty you didn't expect. Because as Jesus stumbles under the weight of the cross, something begins to shift, not just on earth, but in heaven. Dallas described this stretch of the story as the breaking point not for Jesus, but for everyone else. The disciples are scattered. Peter is drowning in shame. Mary, his mother, is barely able to breathe as she watches her son fall. And yet Dallas said the most powerful scenes here are not the ones with shouting or violence, but the moments where the silence feels unbearable. Jesus, bloodied and beaten, collapses on the road, and nobody helps him except one man, Simon of Cyrene. That's where Dallas wants us to pay attention. Because Simon doesn't know Jesus. He's just there, pulled from the crowd, forced to carry the cross for a man he's never met. But something happens as he lifts the burden, he sees him. Dallas hinted that this scene will be quiet, raw, and intimate. No grand speeches. Just two men, both exhausted, one carrying the pain of the world, the other just trying to survive the moment. And yet through that shared suffering, something holy is born. Simon realizes he's not helping a criminal. He's helping a king, and that moment will stay with him forever. But while that's unfolding in the physical world, Dallas said there's something else happening beneath the surface. Something invisible, yet more real than anything we've seen so far. As Jesus carries the cross, the forces of evil believe they've won. The enemy is laughing. The priests are confident. Rome is relaxed, but heaven is quiet. Because they know what's coming. And that quiet, that stillness, it's not fear. It's anticipation. It's thunder waiting to break. According to Dallas, this entire portion of the season was crafted to show us not just the suffering, but the strength behind the suffering. Jesus does not scream. He doesn't curse his enemies. He doesn't even ask for help. He embraces the pain. And every step he takes toward the hill is a step closer to the greatest reversal the world has ever seen. This is not a man defeated. This is a king in control. There's one detail Dallas shared that caught everyone off guard. During the march to the cross, Jesus locks eyes with the crowd. He sees familiar faces. Some are weeping, some are mocking, but he looks at each one, as if to say, I'm doing this for you, even the ones who hate him, even the ones who spit on him. And that's what makes this season so powerful, because we aren't watching from the outside. We are the crowd. We are the ones who ran away, the ones who doubted, the ones who chose Barabbas, and yet Jesus walks anyway. Dallas said they filmed this section over several days under intense heat, pushing the actors and crew to their limits because they wanted to feel it, to live it, to understand even a sliver of what that journey meant. And the result, according to him, is something that doesn't just depict history. It pierces your heart. It makes you ask, would I have helped him or would I have watched in silence? But even as Jesus approaches Golgotha, there's a strange peace in the air. Dallas described it as the calm before the cosmic storm. Because everyone thinks the story is ending, the priests believe they've silenced a threat. Pilate thinks he's avoided a riot. The Romans just see another execution. But they're all wrong. They don't realize that Jesus is choosing this. And that's where the epic movement truly begins. Not in violence, not in vengeance, but in surrender. Willing, deliberate surrender. Jesus isn't being dragged. He's walking head high, shoulders square. Not as a prisoner, but as a lamb ready to be sacrificed. And while the world thinks it's watching a man fall, heaven knows it's watching the rise of a kingdom. But the most powerful moment of Dallas Jenkins' livestream wasn't just about dates or schedules. It was about what's coming. He said something that truly stayed with me. Season 6 will not just be the end of a story. It will be the breaking point for every character. And if you've followed The Chosen this far, you know exactly what that means. For Jesus, it's the final walk. For the disciples, it's the hardest test of faith. For us, the viewers, it will be heartbreaking, powerful, and unforgettable. Dallas didn't sugarcoat it. He said this season will carry the emotional weight of every moment that's come before, and that nothing will be the same again. In fact, one of the writers on the team admitted they cried while working on the final scenes. This is not just the story of Jesus' arrest and crucifixion. It's the moment when the entire mission is tested, where betrayal meets destiny, and where silence, pain, and sacrifice collide in a way we've never seen on screen before. But Dallas also gave us hope. He said, "We are going to film the resurrection in a way that's never been done. Ever." That alone gave me chills. Think about it, we've seen so many versions of the resurrection in movies, but The Chosen has always done things differently, deeper, more real, more human. He didn't reveal how they'll do it, but the promise is there. Something epic is coming, something sacred, and he reminded fans that the story doesn't end at the cross. It rises from it. For now, this is what we know. The 6 episodes of Season 6 are coming late 2026, and the final movie, what Dallas calls The Chosen's biggest moment, is set for 2027. It's a long wait, yes. But when you hear how much pressure the team is under, how carefully they are crafting every scene, how deeply they are committed to showing the pain, beauty, and glory of the final days, you understand why it needs time. And I think we owe them that. Because The Chosen isn't just another show, it's a calling, a testimony, a reminder that these stories still matter. So what are you most excited or scared to see in Season 6? Is it the betrayal, the trial, the crucifixion, or are you waiting to see how they show the resurrection? Let me know in the comments below. And as always, I'll be right here, keeping watch over every update, every live stream, every behind-the-scenes moment, so you never miss what's coming next. If you enjoyed this breakdown and want to stay updated on every major reveal from The Chosen, don't forget to subscribe to Meld Media, hit the like button to support the channel, and share this video with other fans who need to know what's coming. Big things are ahead, and you won't want to miss a single moment.